The lights in the lab were too bright. Yunji blinked as she stared at the screen. She had run the test 3 times now. The result was always the same. "This can't be right," she whispered. Yunji Kim was one of only 20 humans allowed to work in the Galactic Research Institute. The aliens who ran it, tall blue-skinned beings called the Stellar Dominion, rarely let humans touch their advanced equipment. But Yunji was special. She understood things other humans didn't. Or so she thought, until today. She looked again at her DNA scan. All workers had to submit monthly health checks. It was routine. But this time, something was wrong. Part of her DNA didn't match normal human patterns. The door slid open with a soft hiss. Yunji quickly closed the screen. "Dr. Kim." The voice was cold and flat. Director Kelthak stood in the doorway, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence. "You are working late." "Just finishing up, Director," Yunji said, trying to keep her voice steady. "Your health scan results are interesting." The alien's mouth barely moved when he spoke. "Report to special evaluation tomorrow. First hour." Yunji felt cold fear spread through her chest. No one ever talked about special evaluation. But everyone knew. People who went there didn't come back to work. "Yes, Director," she said. After Kelthax left, Yunji sat frozen at her station. Her hand shook as she reopened the scan. "Yunji." A gentle voice came from behind her. It was Ta-One, the only other human in her department. "Are you okay?" She turned to him, not sure if she could trust anyone, but Ta-One had been kind to her since her first day. "Look at this," she said. She showed him the scan. Ta-One's eyes widened. "These markers, I've never seen anything like this. What does it mean?" "I don't know." He looked at the door to make sure they were alone. "But I know special evaluation isn't good. We need to save this data before they delete it." Ta-One helped her copy the scan results onto a small data chip. As she slipped it into her pocket, Yunji knew her life at the Institute was over. "What will you do?" Ta-One asked. Yunji took a deep breath. "I don't know, but I'm not going to special evaluation." That night, as she packed a small bag in her tiny living pod, Yunji kept thinking about the strange patterns in her DNA. Why was the Dominion so interested? What made her different? She didn't have answers yet, but she knew one thing for sure. She needed to escape before morning came. Morning came too soon. Yunji hadn't slept. She put on her lab coat and grabbed her small bag. This might be her last chance. The hallways of the Institute were quiet. Most workers hadn't arrived yet. Yunji walked quickly, trying to look normal. Her heart beat fast in her chest. Near the main lab, Ta-One was waiting. "Are you ready?" he asked in a low voice. Yunji nodded. "What's the plan?" "I'll create a problem in the main system. When the alarms go off, head for the south exit. The guards will be busy. You'll have about 2 minutes." Yunji took a deep breath. "Thank you." Ta-One squeezed her arm. "Be careful. Find people who can help you." They walked into the lab together. Ta-One went to his station while Yunji pretended to work. She watched as he typed quickly on his screen. Suddenly, red lights flashed. A loud alarm rang through the building. "System failure in sectors 3 and 4, said a calm computer voice. "All personnel report to emergency stations." Workers began running. In the confusion, Yunji slipped away toward the south exit. As she passed by Sector 2, she saw something strange. Guards were leading 3 humans down a hallway she had never seen before. The humans looked scared. One woman was crying. Yunji stopped, watching. One of the humans, a young man, looked at her. His eyes were wide with fear. A guard pushed him forward. "Move, anomaly." Anomaly. The same word used in her DNA report. Yunji wanted to help them, but she couldn't. Not now. She turned and ran toward the exit. She was almost there when she heard a whirring sound. Security drones. She ducked into a small room just as two drones flew past. The exit was just ahead. Yunji ran through the door and into the bright morning light. For the first time in 3 years, she was outside the institute walls. She didn't stop running. She headed for the crowded lower districts of Stellar Station 9, where humans lived in cramped spaces far below the beautiful towers of the alien elite. After an hour of walking through narrow streets, Yunji felt lost. People pushed past her. The smells of food and garbage mixed in the air. No one looked at her. She was just another human here. "You look like you're in trouble," said a voice. Yunji turned to see a woman with short black hair and oil-stained hands. She wore the plain clothes of a maintenance worker. "I'm fine," Yunji said quickly. The woman smiled. "No, you're not. You're from up there." She pointed toward the towers. "And now you're running. I know that look." Yunji didn't know what to say. "I'm Hanul," the woman said. "And trust me, you need help. Come with me before the drones find you." Yunji hesitated, then followed. She had nowhere else to go. Hanul led Yunji through maze-like streets. They walked down stairs, through tunnels, and past crowds of humans. Finally, they'd reached a door hidden behind old shipping containers. "In here," Hanul said. She pressed her hand to the door, and it opened. Inside was a large room filled with people. Some sat at screens. Others worked on strange machines. They all looked up when Yunji entered. "Who is she?" asked a tall man with sharp eyes. "Someone running from the towers, Jae-hoon," Hanul answered. "She needs help." Jae-hoon walked closer to Yunji. "You work for them, the Dominion." "I was a researcher at the institute," Yunji said. Her voice shook a little. "But I had to leave." "Why?" Jae-hoon asked. His voice was not friendly. Yunji reached into her pocket and pulled out the data chip. "Because of this. My DNA scan. There's something wrong with it, according to them." The room went quiet. Jae-hoon's face changed. "Show me," he said. His voice was softer now. They moved to a screen. Yunji put in the chip, and her DNA scan appeared. Jae-hoon studied it for a long time. "You're not the first," he said finally. "People have been disappearing after medical scans. We've been tracking the pattern." He turned to the others. "This is what we've been looking for." "Proof." "Proof of what?" Yunji asked. Jae-hoon pointed to the screen. "The Dominion is taking humans with certain genetic patterns. We didn't know why. Until now." He showed her another screen with a list of missing people. All of them had medical scans before they vanished. "We think they had DNA markers like yours." Yunji thought about the scared humans she had seen being taken away. The guard called one of them an anomaly. "Yes," Jae-hoon said. "That's their word for people like you." A woman brought Yunji a cup of water. "I'm Sunmi," she said. "My brother was taken 3 months ago." Same story. Yunji looked around. These people had built a hidden network right under the Dominion's nose. "What are you all doing here?" she asked. "Fighting back," Jae-hoon said simply. "We need to know why they want people with your genetic pattern. We need to get into their medical database." "That's impossible," Yunji said. "The security." "Not impossible," Jae-hoon interrupted. "Just hard. And now we have you. Someone who knows the institute from the inside." Yunji felt everyone looking at her. They wanted her help. But helping them meant going back toward the danger she had just escaped. "What if we get caught?" she asked. Jae-hoon's eyes were serious. "Then we'll be like the others, disappearing without a trace." Yunji thought about the young man's fearful eyes as the guards took him away. "I'll help," she said. "What's the plan?" 3 days later, Yunji stood outside the Dominion medical facility with Jae-hoon. They wore the gray uniforms of cleaning staff. Hanul had made fake ID cards that would get them inside. "Remember the plan," Jae-hoon said quietly. "We go to the 3rd floor, find an empty office, and use my device to break into their system." Yunji nodded. Her mouth felt dry. We have 20 minutes before the security scan finds our fake IDs. They walked through the front door. A board guard waved them through after checking their cards. So far, so good. They took the service elevator to the 3rd floor. The hallways were empty. Most Dominion workers were at the daily meeting that Jae-hoon had learned about from his sources. In here, Jae-hoon whispered, pointing to an office. The door was unlocked. Inside, Jae-hoon pulled out a small black device and connected it to the computer. Now we wait. The device worked fast. Soon, files began to appear on the screen. Yunji searched for anything about human DNA or anomalies. Look, she said suddenly. Project Containment. Jae-hoon moved closer. The file was huge. Yunji opened it and began to read. Her eyes widened. This can't be right. The file explained everything. Humans with her genetic variation had a special ability. They could connect with Dominion technology in ways even the aliens couldn't. Their brains could understand and control alien systems naturally. The Dominion fears us, Yunji whispered. We can use their own technology against them. Jae-hoon looked amazed. That's why they're taking people like you. They're afraid. They kept reading. The Dominion was studying the brains of captured humans, trying to understand how this ability worked. Suddenly, an alarm started to ring. We need to go, Jae-hoon said. He grabbed the device, but it was still downloading files. The door burst open. 4 guards rushed in, weapons ready. Behind them stood Tadwan. Yunji, he said, looking sad. You shouldn't have come here. Tadwan. Yunji felt her heart sink. You're working for them. I always have been, he replied. I'm sorry. The guards moved forward. Jae-hoon tried to fight, but they knocked him down. One guard grabbed Yunji's arms. Take the man to Sector 7, Tadwan ordered. Director Kel Fax will want to question him personally. As they dragged Jae-hoon away, he looked at Yunji. Run, he shouted. In that moment of confusion, Yunji kicked the guard holding her and ran for the door. More alarms were ringing now. She sprinted down the hallway, hearing footsteps behind her. She had to escape. She had to tell the others what she had learned. And somehow, she had to save Jae-hoon. Yunji hid in an old maintenance tunnel. She had been running for hours, using all the shortcuts Hanul had taught her. Now she sat in the dark, trying to catch her breath. Jae-hoon was captured. It was her fault. She hit the wall with her fist. I have to help him, she whispered to herself. But how? She was just one person against the entire Dominion. Something glinted in the corner of the tunnel. Yunji crawled over to look. It was a broken piece of Dominion technology, an old control panel from one of their ships. Yunji picked it up. The metal felt warm in her hands. She remembered what she had read in the files, about humans like her who could connect with alien tech. Could I really? She wondered. She closed her eyes and held the device. At first, nothing happened. Then she felt something strange, like a tingling in her mind. Images flashed behind her eyelids. She could see the device's systems, its connections, how it worked. With a gasp, she dropped it. The panel lit up, glowing blue in the darkness. It's true, she whispered. I can control it. A noise made her turn. Someone was coming. Yunji grabbed the panel and prepared to run. Yunji, are you here? It was Hanul's voice. Yunji stepped out. How did you find me? I know these tunnels better than anyone, Hanul said. Then she noticed the glowing panel. What's that? Proof, Yunji said. Everything in the files was true. I can connect with their technology. Hanul's eyes widened. You need to meet someone. Come with me. They traveled deeper into the lower districts, to a part of the station Yunji had never seen. Finally, they reached a small home built into the station's outer wall. An old man opened the door. His hair was white, and his face was lined with wrinkles. This is Sung Min, Haenul said. The old man studied Unji carefully. You have the gift, he said. It wasn't a question. You know about it? Yunji asked. Sung Min nodded. He picked up a small Dominion device from a table. It began to glow just like the panel had for Yunji. I've had it all my life, he said. There are others like us, hidden across the galaxy. Some know what they can do. Most don't. The Dominion is afraid of us, Yunji said. Yes, some men agreed. And they should be. With training, we can control all their systems, their ships, their weapons, everything. Yunji thought of Jai-hoon. Can you teach me? My friend was captured. I need to save him. Sung Min looked at her for a long moment. Then he nodded. It won't be easy, he warned. And it will be dangerous. I don't care, Yunji said. I have to try. Then we begin now, Sung Min said. There isn't much time. 2 weeks passed. Every day, Yunji trained with Sung Min. She learned to connect with Dominion technology, to see its systems in her mind, and to control it with her thoughts. It was hard work. Often, she collapsed in exhaustion. Again, Sung Min would say, focus harder. By the end of the second week, Yunji could turn Dominion systems on and off from across the room. She could read data stored in their devices. She could even make simple machines move. You learn quickly, Sung Min told her one evening. You're stronger than I was at your age. Yunji shook her head. Not strong enough. Ji-hoon has been captured for 2 weeks now. We need to save him. We will, Haenul said. She had been helping with the training. But we need a plan. That night, they gathered around a table with a map of the Dominion's main facility. Sung Min had contacted other gifted humans, and 5 of them had come to help. They were ordinary people, a mechanic, a cook, a teacher, but they all had the same ability as Unji. The prison cells are here, Yunji said, pointing to the map. But we don't know exactly where they're keeping Jai-hoon. I have news, Haenul said as she entered the room. And it's not good. She placed a stolen data tablet on the table. I got this from a worker at the medical facility. The Dominion is planning something called processing for all captured anomalies. It starts tomorrow. Yunji read the tablet. Her face went pale. Processing means brain dissection. They want to study how our minds work. The room went quiet. Then Sung Min spoke. Then we move tonight. They spent the next few hours making final preparations. Each person had a job. Haenul would guide them through the service tunnels. 2 of the gifted humans would disable the security systems. Another would hack into the prison controls. Yunji and Sung Min would find and free Jai-hoon and any other prisoners. As night fell, they moved through the dark tunnels toward the facility. Everyone was quiet, thinking about what was ahead. Are you scared? Haenul asked Yunji softly. Yes, Yunji admitted, but I'm more afraid of doing nothing. They reached a service entrance. It was locked with Dominion technology. Yunji placed her hand on the panel and closed her eyes. In her mind, she could see the lock system. She found the right connections and changed them. The door slid open. Good work, Sung Min whispered. They moved quickly through the dark hallways. When they saw guards, Yunji or one of the others would disable their weapons or create distractions with nearby equipment. Finally, they reached the prison section. Yunji connected with the control system. In her mind, she could see all the cells and who was in them. Jai-hoon is in cell 12, she said, and there are 15 other prisoners. They're all like us. Sung Min nodded. Free them all. Yunji focused her mind. One by one, the cell doors opened. Confused prisoners looked out, not sure what was happening. Jai-hoon stepped out of his cell. He looked thin and tired, but his eyes lit up when he saw Yunji. I knew you'd come, he said. An alarm suddenly blared through the facility. Red lights flashed in the hallway. They know we're here, Haenul said. We need to move. They led the freed prisoners toward the exit, but as they turned a corner, they found their path blocked by guards. Behind the guards stood Director Kelfax and Tadwan. Impressive, Kelfax said, his 4 eyes blinking. But foolish. The guards raised their weapons. Yunjai stepped forward, ready to use her ability to disable them. Then some men pushed her aside. "Get them out of here," he told Yunji. "I'll hold them off." "No," Yunji cried. "We all leave together." But some men was already moving forward. His hands glowed as he connected with every piece of Dominion technology in the hallway. Lights exploded. Doors slammed open and closed. The guards' weapons shut down. "Go," some men shouted. Yunji hesitated, then grabbed Jai-hoon's arm. "This way," she called to the others. As they ran, Yunji looked back. Some men stood alone against the Dominion forces, fighting to give them time to escape. Yunji led the group through the dark hallways. Behind them, alarms screamed. They could hear guards shouting and running. "This way," Hae-Nul said, pointing to a small door. "This leads to the maintenance tunnels." They hurried through. Some of the rescued prisoners were weak from their time in cells. 2 people helped each injured person. No one was left behind. Yunji's mind was racing. Some men had stayed back to save them. She couldn't let his sacrifice be for nothing. They reached a large junction in the tunnels. Suddenly, the lights went out. In the darkness, Yunji heard someone moving. "Don't move," said a voice. A light came on, showing Taiwan standing there with a small weapon. "Traitor," Jai-hoon spat out the word. "You don't understand," Taiwan said. He looked tired. "I'm not what you think." "You work for the Dominion," Yunji said. "You helped them capture Jai-hoon." Taiwan shook his head. "I work for our people. I've been feeding the Dominion false information for years, helping them catch only the people we could later rescue." Yunji didn't believe him. "Why should we trust you?" "Because I let some men find the alarm that would free all of you." Taiwan lowered his weapon. "I've been working as a double agent all along." Hae-Nul stepped forward. "It's true, Yunji. Some men knew. He didn't tell you because it was safer that way." Yunji felt confused. "Then why are you here now?" "To warn you," Taiwan said. "Director Kelfax is coming with more guards. You need to know what you're facing." He pulled out a small device and showed them images. "The Dominion is terrified of humans like you. Your ability to connect with their technology wasn't supposed to happen." "What do you mean?" Jai-hoon asked. "The Dominion has been manipulating human genetics for generations," Taiwan explained. "They've been trying to remove the genetic variation that gives you your abilities. They want humans to be workers, not threats." Yunji remembered what the files had said. "We're not just anomalies. We're evolving." "Yes," Taiwan agreed. "Living around advanced technology has changed some humans. Your brains adapted in ways the Dominion never expected. They see it as a dangerous mistake." A loud noise came from the tunnel behind them. Director Kelfax's voice echoed. "Find them. Every last anomaly must be captured." "Go," Taiwan said. "Take the left tunnel. It leads to the lower districts." Hae-Nul nodded and began leading the others away. Ji-hoon followed, helping a limping prisoner. Yunji stayed behind. "What about you?" "I'll slow them down," Taiwan said. "My cover is blown anyway." "Some men is probably dead," Yunji said quietly. "Don't throw your life away too." Taiwan smiled sadly. "Some things are worth dying for." Before she could argue, Kelfax and 6 guards appeared at the end of the tunnel. Taiwan pushed Yunji toward the others. "Run." Yunji ran to catch up with the group. Behind her, she heard energy weapons firing. She didn't look back. They had almost reached the exit when they found their path blocked. Kelfax stood there, his blue skin glowing in the dim light. 2 guards held Taiwan, who was bleeding from a wound in his shoulder. "Did you think you could escape me?" Kelfax asked. His voice was cold. You are property of the Dominion. Failed experiments to be studied and discarded. Yunji looked around. They were trapped. No, she said, stepping forward. We are not experiments. We are the future. She closed her eyes and reached out with her mind. She connected not just with one device, but with all the Dominion technology around them. The lights, the doors, the weapons, everything. It was too much. Pain shot through her head, but she held on. What are you doing? Fax asked. For the first time, there was fear in his voice. Yunji opened her eyes. They glowed with blue light, something you never expected us to do. The guards' weapons shut down. The doors around them began to open and close. The lights flickered wildly. Stop her, Fax shouted. But it was too late. Yunji had connected to the entire facility's systems, and she was just beginning to understand what she could do with that power. Yunji felt power flowing through her mind. Every screen, every door, every system in the facility was open to her. It was like seeing with 1,000 eyes at once. The pain in her head grew stronger, but she pushed through it. She could feel the others watching her in amazement. This is impossible, Fax said. He stepped back. No human mind should be able to connect with so many systems at once. Through the facility's cameras, Yunji could see everything. She saw guard stations, laboratories, prison cells, and then she saw something that made her gasp. What is it? Jae-hoon asked. He moved closer to her. Records, Yunji whispered. So many records. The Dominion has been experimenting on humans for over 100 years. She was seeing it all. Images, videos, reports. The Dominion hadn't just conquered humanity. They had been changing humans, breeding them like animals, removing genetic traits they didn't want. They've been trying to make us weaker, she said, more obedient. Fax's 4 eyes widened. You were not meant to know this. Why? Yunji demanded. Why do this to us? Your kind was made to serve, Fax said, not to challenge. The genetic variation that allows you to connect with our technology was a mistake, an accident we've been trying to fix for generations. Yunji looked at the others. Ji-hoon, Hae-nul, the rescued prisoners, all humans who had been treated like tools, not people. Everyone should know the truth, she said. With a thought, she sent the records to every screen in the station. In homes, workplaces, and public areas, humans and lower-ranked Dominion alike would see what had been hidden from them. No, Fax shouted. He signaled to his guards. Kill them all. But the guards couldn't move. Yunji had frozen their weapon systems, locked their armor in place. It's over, she told Fax. Your secret is out. The director's blue skin darkened with anger. You think this changes anything? The Dominion has ruled for centuries. We control everything. Not anymore, Jae-hoon said. He stood beside Yunji. Look. On the screens around them, they could see what was happening throughout the station. Humans were gathering in the streets. Many lower caste Dominion were joining them. The truth was spreading. Your own people are turning against you, Yunji said. The ones you keep at the bottom, just like us. Fax looked at the screens in horror. This is temporary, a minor rebellion that will be crushed. You're wrong, Yunji said. She was still connected to the systems, still seeing everything. It's not just here. The signal is spreading to other stations, other planets. Through the communication networks, she could feel it happening. Her message jumping from system to system, station to station. Wherever there were humans and Dominion, the truth was being revealed. The effort was draining her. Blood trickled from her nose. Ji-hoon caught her as she stumbled. Yunji, you need to stop, he said. This is killing you. Almost done, she whispered. With her last bit of strength, she sent one final command through the system, unlocking all the prison cells in every Dominion facility. Anyone being held for genetic anomalies would be free. Then she broke the connection. The blue light faded from her eyes, and she collapsed into Jai-hoon's arms. Kelfax looked at his useless guards, at the screen showing growing crowds of angry people, and at Yeonji. For the first time, there was fear in his eyes. "What have you done?" he asked. Hanul stepped forward, standing protectively in front of Yeonji. "She started what you feared most," she said. "A fair fight." Tadwan, still held by the guards, smiled through his pain. "It's too late to stop it now." Yeonji opened her eyes slowly. She felt weak but satisfied. The truth was out. The fight was just beginning. "We're not your experiments anymore," she told Kelfax. "We're your equals. And it's time you learned that." 3 weeks passed. The station was different now. The Dominion leaders had retreated to their ships, facing rebellions across all their territories. Humans and lower caste Dominion worked together to create a new system, one where everyone had rights. Yeonji sat in a quiet room, recovering from her ordeal. Using so much power had nearly killed her. But each day, she grew stronger. Jai-hoon entered the room carrying food. "You should eat," he said. "The council meeting is in an hour." Yeonji nodded. After the rebellion started, a council had formed with representatives from all groups: humans, lower caste Dominion, and others who had been kept down. Yeonji and Ji-hoon were important voices on this council. "How are the new students doing?" she asked. Ji-hoon smiled. "Good. Hae-nul has a real talent for teaching." After learning about their abilities, many humans with the genetic variation had come forward. Hae-nul had started a school to help them learn to control their powers safely. "And Tawan?" Yeonji asked. "His arm is healing. He's working with the communication team, helping us contact other stations." Yeonji stood up slowly. She still felt weak sometimes, but she was determined to attend the council meeting. Today they would discuss the future of their relationship with the remaining Dominion leaders. As they walked through the station, people nodded respectfully to Yeonji. Some even bowed. It made her uncomfortable. "I don't want to be treated like this," she told Ji-hoon. "Like I'm special." "But you are," he said. "You changed everything." "Not alone," she reminded him. "And not because of my DNA. Because we all decided to be brave." They reached the council chamber, a large room that had once been for Dominion leaders only. Now it held a round table where all voices were equal. Director Kelfax was there, no longer in charge but present as a representative of the Dominion leadership. He looked smaller somehow, less intimidating. "Dr. Kim," he said when he saw Yeonji. He no longer used his commanding voice. "You are?" "Well, I am," she said simply. The meeting began. They discussed trade agreements, security arrangements, and how to help the newly freed humans with genetic variations. "There is fear among my people," Kelfax admitted. "Those with your abilities could take control of our technology, our ships, everything." "We don't want control," Yeonji said. "We want equality." "How can we trust this?" asked another Dominion representative. Yeonji stood up. She touched a screen on the wall, and it lit up. Using her ability, carefully, gently now, she showed them a map of the galaxy. "These lights show where people like me are awakening to their abilities," she explained. "We're teaching them to use their powers responsibly, to build, not destroy." The map showed hundreds of points of light, spreading across known space. "We could have fought back," Ji-hoon added, "used these abilities as weapons. Instead, we're offering partnership." The room was quiet as everyone looked at the map. Then Hae-nul, who had joined the council as the school's representative, spoke up. "For generations, the Dominion tried to make humans match their idea of what we should be. They saw our differences as dangerous. But our differences are our strength." Yeonji nodded. "My DNA didn't match what you wanted it to be," she told Kelfax. "But that doesn't make it wrong. It makes it human." She looked around the room at the diverse faces, human, Dominion, and others. "We're offering a new way forward. not based on who controls who, but on working together. Not on making everyone the same, but on valuing our differences. Kelfax was silent for a long moment. Then he said, "The old Dominion would never accept this, but perhaps it is time for something new." As the council continued its work, Yumjai looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there, others like her were discovering their abilities, their potential. The future would not be easy. There would be challenges and setbacks. But for the first time in generations, it would be a future that humans helped to shape. A future based not on fear of difference, but on courage to change.